So, dear friends, I thank the office bearers of IBM to invite me this afternoon to give a talk. So when they came and asked me in my office, I'd like you to come, and I thought as a chief guest, just come and say hello and go back. But then they said, you need to talk. I said, what am I going to talk? They said, just tell your experience on how I ran my business. So what I'm going to do today is, because all of you, from what I heard, is briefly for half an hour, seems to be all successful in your own respective fields. So there's nothing much I can tell. But what I will do is, I'll just tell my experience, which might be right, wrong, I don't know, but I'll just explain to you. So to start with, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. My father was a civil servant, and he was an IAS officer. And he gave us a clear direction that till he retires, we should not be in business. So I did my commerce, I did my law, and he was still working in the government, so I took a job in EID Parry, and I spent 4.5 years in Parry and Company as a management trainee, and then as assistant manager for marketing fertilizers in Karnataka. So when I was working in Parry, ultimately I was waiting for my father to retire. So he retired in 1980, and on the same day I resigned. And I started with the family help, a waste cotton spinning mill in Madurai. The total investment at that time was 25 lakhs. My father gave me 2 lakhs from his provident fund. I had 2 lakhs, and 20 lakhs I took a loan from IOB. So that is how Sumangala started. And I'm proud to say that today we are 1,000 crore plus company with different verticals, which I'll explain to you. The reason I'm telling you this turnover or whatever is not to boast or not to show how great I am, but to say that from a humble beginning, how it is possible to achieve great things as long as you are determined to do it. So when I quit Parry, it gave me a good foundation, working in a large British company. Apart from the various things they taught me in business, there are 3 things which still stick on to me. One is how to wear a tie. Till then, I never knew how to wear a tie, because without wearing a tie, you can't go to the mess to have lunch. Second is interpersonal skills, how to handle your superiors, how to handle your juniors, because it was a very British company, a lot of hierarchy and a lot of protocols. It taught me that. And finally, the art of communication. Especially, when I joined my business, there were those days, so many letters to be written to the banks, communication. And that's one thing Parry taught me is how to draft, how to communicate. That time we didn't have WhatsApp. We had to send mails, we had to send telexes, we had to send all that. The communication was a very strong thing which EID Parry taught me. So we started the textile mill in Madurai with buying waste from spinning mills and then processing it in a second-hand machinery and making coarse yarn for making blankets, in the jump columns and all that, selling it to various societies in Tirupur, Karur and all that. And that's how we started our business. Subsequently, my brother, who was in the US, he came and joined us. And then we started a steel plant. And the steel, as all of you know, Sumangala TMT, which as a family we both joined together, ran the show. And in 2007, we both of us were wanting great ambition, so he took over steel, and I started the Sree Sumangala group in 2007. And in 2007, when I started a trading outfit, importing a lot of used HR coils, CR coils to India, and selling them. Then in 2010, we started the first aluminum alloy manufacturing company in a large way in Gumdipundi. We are now doing around 3,000 tons a month. We are OEM supplies to Hyundai, Royal Enfield, Nissan, and name it, TVS Group, Sundaram Fasteners, to everybody. We are a critical supplier. In fact, we make very critical supplies to TVS, who in turn make products for Cummins and Volvo. So aluminum is one of our major businesses. Then we started auto components. So we make sheet metal components in Ambattur. I think that's where you met us. And we are OEM suppliers to Tafe, Borgwana, Rane, NSK, GE, all of them. Then 5-6 years back, I found an opportunity and got into metal recycling, where we import used motors, radiators, cables, dismantle them completely with Chinese machinery, take out the pure copper, steel, aluminum, lead, and sell it to various end users. And that's also become a large business for us. Apart from that, there are some small other group companies we have. We make mosquito coils as contract manufacturing for Godrej. That's a large setup. We are the sole manufacturers of mosquito coils for Godrej under Goodnight name. We have plants in Jammu, we have plants in Hyderabad, Jammu, and Pondicherry. And finally, we set up a car shredder in Gumdi-Pundi, where I'm waiting for this EV policy, where used cars, which will now slowly start coming up, we can shed and take out the steel, and this will come under the green technology. As all of you know, one of the most important things now everybody is talking about is ESG, environment, social governance. Unless each unit is under the ESG, which is saving or having alternate fuel or having recycled products, and also having various committees to handle gender, etc., you will not get orders in large companies. So ESG is a very important thing which as a group we are following, and we hope to be there in 2027. So this is regarding me and the businesses which I do. In the process of this, in the last 45 years which I've been in the business, there are a few things which I think is important for us to be successful in business, and somebody said grow 5x, 10x, 20x. So I'll just name a few of them, and then I leave it to you, all of you, for the evening. First, which I feel most important, is you need to have the passion to do the business. Without the passion, just thinking you can do and achieve big figures is not possible. You can't do because your mother has said it or your neighbor is doing something. You need to have the, you know what, Tamil Solo, the fire in your belly should always be there to succeed, to achieve. Unless that fire is there, because each one which I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give an example of what I'm not simply going to tell great things which are in the books. What I followed, I'm going to tell you. So, in the 6th standard in my school, I studied in Christian College School, everybody is asking what each one wants to do. Somebody said doctor, somebody said pilot, somebody said all the great things. I didn't know proper English. I said factory. So, from the young age, we had the passion and the fire to do great. Because one thing also I'll say is, it's not an easy business. It's not for the faint-hearted. As all of you know, we all go through very, very tough times. In business can be ups and downs, things can be bad. So unless you have the grit and say, I have to succeed, that passion is very difficult to stay on a long term. The second important aspect in business is seizing opportunities. You know, all of you, I'm sure, because all of you are business people here in IBM, we all need that little break to grow. The opportunity, the little small breaks in life, in businesses, which will propel you to a larger scale. And these opportunities do not fix your time and come to you at a stated time, or your astrologer says, idu nalla nera inga vandudana varadu. So you have to be constantly looking at opportunities. It can come from different sources, and try and seize them. I'll give you a few examples of the opportunities which I seized when I was young to grow to this level. The first one was when we were having a steel plant. People are all buying scrap. That time scrap was imported, mostly. There was not much demolition here. Scrap used to be imported from US, UK by shiploads, containers, from Malaysia, Singapore, and everybody was bringing it at a price. I noticed this in 1989. height of the LTTE problem in Sri Lanka. There was huge amount of scrap available, but nobody was wanting to bring it here. So I went there. Every month I used to go there, identify those scrap, and there are no containers. So I used to hire these Tonis, small Tony, no engine, nothing. He'll come in 4 days, put 100 tons, 125 tons in a Tony, and bring it to Tuticorin. And believe me, in each ton, I saved $100. And those days, $100 was a lot. So those type of opportunities are very important. Second example, when I was going to Tuticorin to clear this, I found sand, stones were being exported to Maldives to build hotels. Angala sand and thing you can't put in the loose. In the mud has to be bagged and then we sent. So I said, that's opportunity. So I started, since I was in Tuticorin having an office, I started exporting sand and stones for 3 hotels at that time. So wherever you go, you see things and try to take advantage of that. And a small thing, which is, I used to go to Singapore often, we had office there, and I used to like fruits. And there they said mangoes were coming from Pakistan, everywhere, in the mango season. And they said, why don't you get us from Chennai, Banganapalli? But we want it, the look must be so good, like a cheek of a woman. And you must have 10 mangoes exactly at 5 kilos. From the time you pluck to Singapore, it should come in 48 hours. We'll pay you the price. Believe me, I got it done. Sent my people to Andhra, got it that morning, evening. We had to have a hot water tub in my house, put it there, fumigate it, select it, and export it to Singapore. And we made decent money in that also. So what I'm trying to say is opportunities, like somebody is, if any of you are working in IT company, in the IT company is just not what you are doing. You have to see, they might want something more, they might want to hire 20 people for security, they might want to open a gym, they might want to have a cafeteria. See any of that and just try to expand. It need not be in your field. You don't need to know. We can all learn in 2 hours anything and then get things done. So the seizing opportunity, according to me, is very important. Next, I would say is all of us need a mentor. A mentor where we can confide and somebody who's got your well-being, who wants you to grow, to advise you, because we are not knowing everything. I had 2, 3 mentors. I used to go and sit in their feet, sometimes cry when my problems were there, sometimes tell them I have achieved, and they advised us. And also to move with like-minded people, which this morning you people, now you are telling you meet at 7:30 in the morning and exchange ideas. That's an excellent thing. Meet like-minded people, talk to them about your business, their business problems, and that will help you a lot. Then another important point is family support system. You need your family to support you finally. You need your wife, your children, your mother, your father to know what you're doing. Exactly, don't hide anything from them. Tell them what you're doing. They say lunchtime must be peaceful, eat like a monk. I don't believe in it. So lunchtime and dinner time is when you can tell them, Amma, I idu panna, adu panna, ivan seriya rooba kudukala, adu nalla panna. You know, all that the children also get involved. My parents were fully involved. To just tell you an example, as I tell you examples. When I started a spinning mill, the first lorry of cotton I bought, I called up my mother, very proud. I said, Amma, I bought 1 lorry of cotton. You know what's the next answer? Innada insurance pantiya. So, people, you can get advice from, you feel they are not intelligent, but they are all very intelligent people. So your full family support is required for you to go along all, to support you when you need the support. And finally, this is also, according to me, which I running a business ethically. There's no shortcut to business. Running it very ethically is very important for long term. If you're in it for a short term, you can do tinker here, there, make some quick money, you can cut your supply, but having a very good reputation, good name in the market is highly important. And you know, if you do any shortcuts and do it, that can hound you after 5 years when you're really growing and put you back completely. Running a business very ethically is, according to me, very important. Having said all this in the business, there are 2 points which I want to advise on a personal front, which I follow. One is health, fitness, and mental balance. You need to be extremely fit and healthy to run a business. In the morning, you go to your office with a headache, with a stomach pain, or a migraine, or whatever it is, God willing, we should not have it. Even if it has, we overcome it and be healthy, because business needs 100% attention. What you call in English, eye on the ball. It has to be all the time only. You can't afford to do anything else. So being fit, doing yoga, I do 1.5 hours every day of some activity to keep myself going only for my business. Not that I want to do anything great. Because when I go in the morning to office, I must be able to handle problems. When you're saying problems, I'll just tell you this. My father used to tell me, right, in the office, you must have all the problems. Pana Valya, good. Ana Vala to Parana, good. I have all the problems. Ana Veetuk Vanda, there will not be any problem. You must have peace. So that health and peace and mental stability is very important. And finally, whatever I said now will go out of the window if you do not have the grace and blessings of your elders and the Almighty. That is alone will take you to where you are. Thank you.